And you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Philadelphia Eagles. Why the Philadelphia Eagles 0-16? Because they suck. And welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there, you want to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Or anybody's going to spend any time at all watching part or any of this replay of this, once again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, as I always do, shoot my mouth off. Anybody got anything they want to say at all, just throw it in the chat box. I usually check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. All right, so I mean, anything gets put in there, usually I always say and I respond to. So just please feel free, fire away, right? And I will get back to you. All right. Before I get started, anybody who wants to help support my channel, it would mean the world to me. I would greatly appreciate it. The top link in the description box, okay, takes you to like my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. First one is called the Saquon. The second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Now, each one's got their own little perks to them and all and everything. There's loyalty badges. There's emojis. I had the loyalty badges and the emojis made up on Fiverr. Some people made them up. They're pretty cool looking. So, yeah, you get to use the emojis when you put stuff in, making comments or putting stuff in the chat box or whatever like that. Right now, I got 4 emojis. I will be having a 5th one coming out eventually. So if anybody wants to help support my channel, once again, it would mean the world to me. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed, okay, please go down below, hit that subscribe button, click the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or I put out a video, you'll be notified. And hey, it's free of charge. Okay. Once again, that would greatly help me out. Then also, finally, in the description box, I got there's a couple of some links there, Facebook wise. Okay. What we got is the top Facebook link. Okay, is to the group I have. Okay, it's called, oddly enough, called the Gridiron. All right, right now we have over 1,800 members. Okay, the nice thing about that, not only do I put stuff in there, okay, every day, I always try to put at least 5, 6, 7, 8 things in there every day. Try to keep everything fresh. But when you're a member, okay, you can post stuff in there as well too, right? So I mean, between me and the members, there's always a bunch of stuff going in there every day. All right. Then also underneath the Facebook, the link for the group, okay, I have a couple pages. One of them is called "This Day in New York Giants History." That should be the bottom link. Facebook bottom link is for a page. I haven't been as active on that one lately. I will be more in the future, but right now, a lot of this between the YouTube channel, the Facebook group and the Facebook page is taking up a lot of my time. So there's another one of the links in there. It's a page. It's called the New York Giants, called the Gridiron. Very original. But that one, I tell you what, that one's really taken off. I got 294 people who like it, but there's up to 722 people following it. Like every day, I tell you what, I'm getting 10 to 20 new people following that page every day. I believe it was Saturday. I think I was up to about like 590. So between Saturday, Sunday, so the past like 4 days, I've gone up like 120 or 130 followers. So it's growing. It's growing. Now in the page here, okay, pretty much I'm the only one that, is able to, I'm the administrator. So I'm the only one as of right now that can post anything. But I said, same thing. It's the same thing with the group as it is with the page. I try to every day, try to get 5 to 10 new things in there. Okay. Try to keep it fresh, try to put, keep things updated and all and everything. And pretty much what I put in the page for the most part is not in the group. So it's not like I put the same posts in the group and in the page. They're totally different, all right, for the most part. All right. So please click on the link for the group, become a member, and you can post stuff, right? And then go down to the link below that to the page, New York Gridiron, the Giants, the Gridiron, the page, okay? And like it and follow it too. I mean, it's, as I said, all kinds of stuff every day, every 7 days a week. There's all kinds of stuff. And I said, usually it takes me about an hour or so, maybe even a little bit longer. I'm posting a lot of videos and stuff in there. Sometimes it takes me even longer. So please feel free, click on those links. Like them, follow them, and become a member, and you won't be sorry. All right. Well, so all that stuff out of the way. All right. I mean, I don't know. You want to call it the white elephant in the room or whatever you want to call it. I mean, but it's like, where's the offense, right? I get it. I mean, there's that, I guess, the fine mixture, right? I mean, they got the offensive linemen hurt, some coming in, some going out. Is Daniel Jones the real quarterback of the future? I'm going to go over the roster, right, and the depth that we have, and you start looking at some of the guys we have, and you start scratching your head. It's like, wow, we let Hudson go, Tanner Hudson, and we brought in Vanette to replace him, right? I mean, Daniel Bellinger, we finally got him back, but he missed a bunch of games. And you start looking at some of these receivers, it's like, who are some of these guys? Saquon is he? Remember he had the 35 carries that one game. Is he starting to wear down a little bit? How's his shoulder? Right? Is he starting to, is that fully healed yet? So I mean, it's like, I'll tell you what. You look at some of these stats from the second half and overtime. I mean, this past weekend. I mean, we scored 4 times in a row. Okay, but obviously the 4th time we scored, I'm going to pop it up here. The 4th time we scored was after we recovered that fumble. Okay. We went 5 plays, right, for a touchdown, 20 yards, right? The longest drive we had in the second half and overtime was 2 minutes and 39 seconds. The longest amount of plays we had on a drive in the second half and overtime was 7. 7 plays. Right. And then I think it was 36 yards was the longest drive we had. And that was the second possession we had in overtime. Okay. We went 7 plays, 36 yards. I mean, as I said, you start looking, I mean, the first drive we got was when we got the fumble, recovered the fumble on defense, right? We went 5 plays. Then the next time, three plays and a punt. Next time we had the ball, 3 plays, minus 5 yards and a punt. Next time we had the ball, 4 plays, minus 2 yards and a punt. Next time we had the ball, 3 plays, no yards and a punt. And then the last drive we had was the end of the game, which ended regulation, shall I say. Basically 1 play, taking knee, minus 1 yards, and the end of the regulation was over. Then we get the ball in overtime, 4 plays, 9 yards, and a punt. Then this is when we took off. We had 7 plays, 36 yards, and a punt. Okay. And then finally, the last time we had 5 plays, 17 yards, and Graham Gano's field goal was just a little bit short. So, but I'll tell you what, boy, that was some brutal offense. Saquon, I think in the second half, if I remember correctly, somebody was saying he had 7 carries for 3 yards. I think it was. I mean, wow. I mean, so I saw this article here. right? It talks about, obviously, he questions what's going on with the offense. As the Giants raced out to a surprising 6-1 start, perhaps overinflating expectations for a team at the beginning of a new era with rookie GM and head coach, the Giants' offense was hardly a juggernaut. Nope. The Giants passed for 200 or more yards just twice in those 7 games, with a high of 213 yards passing in Week 5 versus the Green Bay Packers. They won a game against the Bears while passing for just 71 yards. They averaged a middle-of-the-pack 21.4 points per game. With the Giants winning, head coach Brian Daboll and offensive coordinator Mike Kafka were being lauded for getting maximum production out of less than ideal personnel. As Chris Flum said when we discussed it recently, they were trying to make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. Not sure what the hell that means, but all right. Some were wondering how long it would be before Kafka got his own head coaching gig. I heard that one. Yep. And consideration was being given to how much money it was going to cost to keep Daniel Jones a quarterback. Now, a little bit different. Now the Giants have gone 1-3-1 over the last 5 games, which is more like, back in the, the normal for the Giants. Out of 5 games, you win 1. 1-3-1. Yeah, that's kind of normal. They average just 19 points per game. Fresh in the minds of Giants fans and media is the 2020 tie with the Washington Commanders, during which the Giants punted 6 straight times after taking a 20-13 lead. 6 straight times. And had a string of 4 possessions where they ran 13 total plays and netted just 2 yards. 4 drives. 4 possessions. They got a grand total of 2 fucking yards. Questions about Jones' future are now popping up again. Daboll, lauded for his aggressive mindset early in the season, is being criticized for the conservative choice to punt on 4th and 3 at the Washington 45 in overtime. Well, they don't make it, right? Washington's got the ball at the 45. They only have to go maybe 20 yards, and they got a field goal, and maybe we lose, So the Giants seemingly increase cautious approach and the lack of results on offense has Daboll fielding questions about whether he will strip Kafka of play calling duties and take the play calling duties on himself. No. And he said no. Daboll will not, though, take the play calling away from Kafka. I have a lot of confidence in Mike, he said. Yeah. Questions the Giants' careful approach to offense in recent weeks leads it to who or what is that Daboll and Kafka do not have confidence in. Do they not have enough confidence in Jones to allow him to make throws that involve risk unless absolutely necessary? Or do they, you got to figure, Giants were like one basic, look what happened with the 1 turnover, right? The Commanders turned that into 3 points. If he, tries to start taking risks and all and everything, and he throws an interception, that could be points for the Commanders. More points for the Commanders, we lose. So, let's see here. Or do they have confidence in the quarterback, but not the surrounding cast? Okay. Daboll wasn't biting when asked about the percentage that there is something about the offense he doesn't trust. I trust the offense, he said. And I trust the supporting cast, he said. Let's see. Tom Rudowski, former Giants scouting assistant, thinks it's a combination of both. Clearly, this coaching staff doesn't view DJ as the guy, okay, which is quite possible. He's not, Patrick Mahomes. He's not Josh Allen, okay? But it's also hard to do anything with bad receivers and an O-line that has dealt with a lot of injuries, which is true. That being said, I'm surprised at just how far they've taken it. Definitely a little different than the type of aggressiveness we saw earlier in the year. But you also got to remember, earlier in the year, we had a healthy Saquon, right? He wasn't, really beat up, worn down or whatever, right? We had some guy named Sterling Shepard out there, right? Remember him before he got hurt, right? He was out there a lot. We had some dude named Wan'Dale Robinson. He played quite a few games, right? And of course, first game of the season, he caught one ball, he got hurt, and he missed some time. But then he came back, right? He had some very, very productive games. Okay. And I said, Daniel Bellinger, yep, he got hurt. But, in the beginning, before he got hurt against Jacksonville, he had some productive games. We even had some dude named Kadarius Toney, not very often, but he was even on the field. Now, I mean, the thing is he doesn't even have to catch a pass or anything. There's certain guys, all right, that take attention. Okay. Kadarius Toney's one of them, right? Just him being on the field. Whoa. KT, right there. Yo, you got him? All right. I got Saquon. All right. You got it. All right. It's not like, who's that? Oh, David Sills. Yeah, man. Yeah, we're good. All right, we're good. We got this, right? I said Sterling Shepard. He's not, Tyreek Hill or nothing like that, but he always seems to find a way to get open, right? As I said, Bellinger, even every now and then with a little Kenny Golladay on the field. Not saying he would actually catch a pass or anything like that, but you see even having him on the field, right? Same thing. Maybe he's throwing the ball deep, right? That's what he's there for. He's not, he's not going to catch 157 passes a season. That's not who he is. But he can maybe take it deep, right? They had, I don't know, called the Fab Four or not, right? And even in this article, I'm going to go over it. I think Slayton was like the seventh overall wide receiver on the depth chart. Right now he's like the number one guy, but back then he was number 7, right? So let's see. It does feel as though the Giants have turned inwardly offensively as the season has progressed. Is that really true? The Giants did only pass the ball 17 times in their Week 8 victory over the Texans, a game where I felt they could have won more easily had they opened up their offense a bit. Instead, they wrote a 35-carry, 152-yard game by Saquon. 35 carries. It's a long season, 17 games. And you're going to give him 35 carries plus I'm not sure how many passes he caught. So, that possibly maybe 40 touches in a game. That's a lot. That's a hell of a lot. Throw that in there with his injured shoulder, maybe not fully healed, right? So Sunday against Washington, the Giants took back-to-back deep shots near the end of regulation. And then other than that, they were extremely cautious throwing the ball. Now with that, with that, I was just picturing, all I could picture is the Commanders just scored a touchdown to tie it up. Giants get the ball back, take 2 deep shots down the field. Okay, the one Slayton should have caught, jumped up. Had 2 hands on the ball. But Howard Cross also seemed to think that Darius Slayton didn't need to jump if he had perhaps just kept running, right? Because it kind of seemed like he was running and he looked up to see the ball. Oh, the ball's there. And, so he kind of maybe stopped and tried to time his jump. So he jumped up and got his hand. So, basically instead of, stopping and jumping and trying to grab it, at the highest point, if he just kept, because he wasn't covered. He was covered, but there was nobody on top of him. So instead of that, if he just kept running, he wouldn't need to stop and jump. He could have maybe caught it in stride. He could have took it to the house, right? But all I could see there was after they took those 2 shots, those 2 deep shots, and then they threw an incomplete pass on 3rd down, right? All I could see was them punting the ball back to the Commanders. The Commanders, completing a couple passes, getting 30 yards or so down the field, and kicking the game-winning field goal. I was like, I was just seeing it. Thankfully, it didn't happen. But they start showing, some of the passes. Daniel Jones 25 out of 31. One of them, of course, there was that drop Slayton had. I mean, that could have been a big play right there. The other one was he spiked the ball. So one of his 6 incompletions was a spike at the end of the first half to stop the clock so they kick the tying field goal, make it 13-13 at halftime, right? So, I mean, basically, he was basically 25 out of 30, right? So he completed 5 out of every 6 passes, right? Only 200 yards, 1 touchdown. But, I mean, it says here, Jones threw 13 of his 31 passes at or behind the line of scrimmage and 6 more within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. So, basically, 19 of his 31 passes were within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. 19 out of basically 2 out of every 3 passes he threw were within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. I mean, it's really tough to win games like that. Jones has only attempted 18 passes at 20 yards beyond the line of scrimmage all season, which is 32nd among all quarterbacks this season. And the thing is, it's like you're taking his best part of him away from him, because it's like the deep ball is his best asset. I mean, he's good at, obviously throwing the intermediate passes and all, but throwing it deep, accurate, that's Daniel Jones. That's right down his alley. So, yeah, I'm surprised they haven't taken more, maybe max protect, right? And taking more deep shots down the field. I mean, especially like, Kenny Golladay, right? Have Kenny Golladay wide, right? Max protect, give Daniel Jones. I mean, you don't need half an hour, but, give him, whatever, right? Give him a few seconds. Stand there, throw it deep to Kenny Golladay. Kenny Golladay is good at jumping up and getting the ball. Daniel Jones is good at dropping the ball deep. That's why they call him Danny Dimes, right? Throwing the ball deep down the field. So just a little confused there. And it says here, so what is going on here? Personally, I find it hard to believe that this is close to the best unimaginative style of Dable and Kafka want to play offense. No, can't be. Dable has been an offensive coordinator 4 times. He's worked with the Buffalo Bills, one of the best offenses in football over the past few years. Is a big part of what the Giant got him for. Oh, yeah. And then Kafka is a former quarterback who learned offensive philosophy at the foot of Andy Reid and the Chiefs, perhaps the best and most creative offense in football in recent years. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You can bet they would like to open things up if they felt that they could. You want to try to use your players' strengths the best you can, Daboll said before the Giants faced the Lions a few weeks ago. I think we have a fair idea of what some of those are. The Giants don't have Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. They don't have Stephon Diggs. Don't have Isaiah McKenzie and Dawson Knox. They don't have Travis Kelce and Juju Smith-Schuster, right? Giants did not have great wide receivers to begin with. They had lost Sterling Shepard and Wan'Dale Robinson of the season. They lost Colin Johnson before the year started. I mean, Colin Johnson, he was, he helped last year, right? As I said, I keep forgetting about him, right? Because I keep forgetting about him, Colin, because we got Marcus Johnson. So every time I hear Johnson, I keep forgetting about Colin, how we lost him before the season started. They even got less this season from Kenny Golladay. So they're not getting nothing from Kenny Golladay. And then they traded away Kadarius Toney, right? The best receiver, Darius Slayton, right, was 7th on the depth chart when the year began. Okay, now he's their best receiver. So you go to any team out there, and I keep pointing out the Eagles because the Eagles have like absolutely nobody hurt. Okay, you go to the Eagles, and the beginning of the season, whoever the top 6 wide receivers are, get rid of them. Right. So now you're number 7 guy on the depth chart. All right. Now he's your number 1 guy. All right. And see how well the Eagles. I see how many points they score. Same thing with the Cowboys. Take away their top 6 wide receivers. Okay, whoever was their 7th wide receiver on the depth chart. Now he's their number 1 guy. Okay, let's see how many points the Cowboys score, right? And then Schultz, right? So we lost Bellinger for 4 or 5 weeks. There's Schultz, their tight end. So they're going to lose him for 4 or 5 weeks as well. So let's see if they put up 40 or 50 points. They're not. right? Let's see. Slayton was 7th in the depth chart. He's having a good year, but he's still basically just a fast guy with bad hands. He has dropped 6 passes and 52 targets this season, a career worst 11.5% drop rate. Can you really throw him the ball in a tight window over the middle? I mean, he's had a few, good grabs. Yeah. And he said the Giants have obviously, Daniel Bellinger. And the Giants have had a couple of things going for them this offseason. Jones' decision-making and ability to protect the ball. Remember, he only has 4 interceptions, right, through 11 games. He's going to have his work cut out for him against the Eagles this week, without question, okay? Because they got Slay and Bradbury, right? And Bradbury's going to want to pick something off. You know that, without question. Let's see, but since that Houston game, Barkley has carried 44 times for 124 yards, 2.8 yards per carry. And Jones scrambled his way to 71 yards on 12 rushes versus Commander. Teams have done a better job defending his zone read and keeping him from getting the edge as a runner, right? The biggest issue of all is this, most likely has been the instability of the offensive line. The Giants started the same offensive line, Thomas, Bredesen, Feliciano Glowinski, and Evan Neal for the first 7 games. Okay. But since then, Bredesen and Neal were injured in week 7 against the Jaguars. Bredesen remains on injury reserve, and Neal did not return to the lineup until Sunday. Giants have started a different offensive line in each game since then. Joshua Zudu, Shane Lemieux, Jack Anderson, and Nick Gates have started games at left guard. Gates started a game at center. Yeah. So, and it says here, is Barkley completely healthy? Right? Maybe not. Is he worn down a bit from the long season and heavy workload? Right? It says in this article, maybe in my view, the bigger issue has been the state of flux of the offensive line and a tight end. Run blocking requires teamwork, and it is difficult when you have different players on the line each week, which is true. When you have the same guys in there week in and week out, right? Like certain teams, okay? It's so much easier. Things work out so much better. When you got different guys in there, okay, it's very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. You need that, that cohesion, right? Oh, there's Ronnie. Hey, how are you? Our center is awful. Our center is bad. Glowinski has been playing. Yeah, Glowinski, yeah. I'll tell you what, they have to get the run game together, yeah. Well, I know Glowinski, I'll tell you what, actually, I wasn't expecting like an all-pro season from him or nothing like that, but I was expecting a little bit more than kind of what we're getting from him, And they have to get the run game going, because I think I was reading or I was listening to like a podcast. I think the Eagles have like 40 sacks. I think it is. They got like just total studs all across the defensive front. Then, of course, they got, as I said, they got Slay and they got Bradbury. So, I don't know if they're going to be playing zone or if they're going to have like Slay and Bradbury locked down our wide receivers, because then our wide receivers probably aren't going to get open, right? So Daniel Jones, who goes back there, is going to have a hard time standing in a pocket for any length of time. Probably zone, okay, yeah, but he ain't going to be able to stand back there forever, right? Because the Eagles, them and the Cowboys, their pressure is really good, really, really good. So whatever passes they got, all right, they're going to try to get the ball out of Daniel Jones's hands fast. They're not going to be far down. The ball's not going to be far down the field. It's going to be tough. We need somehow to try to get this run game going. Now, the Eagles have been a little susceptible to the run. Okay. So, it's something we got. What we got? Probably potluck for us. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the Giants somehow got to try to get, something going. As I was reading, there was one article here. Saquon is only averaging like not even like 3 yards a carry since that Houston game. So I mean, I don't know if he's starting to wear down, if his shoulder's really bothering him, or what the heck it is. But we're I'll tell you, it's the run game it's not been very special. Now, also a lot of it too has been Daniel Jones will get the ball, right, and everybody starts flowing one way, and he'll maybe go to try to hand the ball off to Saquon or whoever the running back is going one way. He'll keep it and he'll peel off and he'll take off, running the opposite direction. Well, like some of the defensive linemen, that maybe the guy on the end, what he'll wind up doing is, a lot of times they just go crashing down the line of scrimmage. They try to make the tackle. They try to tackle the running back who think Daniel Jones handed the ball off to. Daniel Jones keeps the ball. He peels off and he runs around the end and he picks up some good yards. Well, what they seem to be doing is that whoever that edge guy is, it's like you set the edge. Daniel Jones does not get if they're handing the ball off. If it looks like they're handing the ball off, you stay here. Okay. That way, if Daniel Jones keeps the ball, he ain't getting around you. Right? You're putting him back. You're driving him into the middle of the field. Right. So some of that has been not there. Right. A lot of Daniel Jones's yards he has been picking up has been when he's been scrambling because maybe we can't get a wide receiver open. Right. We signed a defensive tackle today, Aaron Crawford. Yeah. Never heard of him. See that it's such a shame because with the salary cap that we're in, right? You got the Eagles for 11-1. So what they're doing, they're going along, they're winning, and they pick up somebody. Who do they pick up? Right? Ndamukong Suh. Huh? I mean, possible Hall of Famer, right? They picked up Linval Joseph, who was a Giant. I mean, Linval Joseph is a shell of what he was and all that. But tell you what, the dude can take up space and all that. So they're picking up like Linval Joseph. They're picking up Ndamukong Suh, right? The Eagles. And because of our salary cap space, we're picking up Aaron Crawford. I don't know. I gotta look him up. No idea, right? So I mean, the Giants, their salary cap, we're in some trouble, right? So, but next year it's going to be a different story. Okay, next year, we'll certainly have some salary cap room, that's for sure. Hopefully, Shane doesn't spend it all in preseason, and we go into the season with like $4 million. He was in the Ravens. Oh, okay, he knows Wicks. Okay, all right. Well, that makes a lot of sense then. Yeah, so he knows the defense. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Familiarity. But I mean, as I said, hopefully next year with when we have some salary cap space, right? Hopefully we'll have maybe 10 or 10 whatever or so going into the season. So if we need a little help here, a little help there, maybe we can pick up somebody decent, right? But the John's gonna have the work cut out for him. I mean, it's gonna be a tough game. I mean, playing against the Eagles without question. Oh yeah, that's gonna have a tough game. Well, we had the Miracle of the Meadowlands. It was 1978, I believe it was. Miracle of the Meadowlands, except that's when the Eagles, But I mean, a lot of people say any given Sunday things can happen. Right? Yeah, anything can happen. It's just I can't stand losing to the Cowboys. I can't stand losing to the Eagles. Just totally pisses you off. And the thing I really can't stand is when the Giants are home and it seems like half the stadium is Cowboy fans or half the stadium is Eagles, because those both of them travel real well. I mean, Eagles fans travel very well, but the Eagles are only 100 miles away, if that, from Philadelphia to where MetLife Stadium's at. So, and of course, since the Eagles are 11-1 and but quote unquote maybe the best team in football and all that, their fans are going to travel really well. So that stadium's going to get really loud, especially if the Eagles start doing good and all and everything. It's going to be, it's going to be tough, But as I said, but any given Sunday, well, I'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully we can get a couple guys back. Which bringing up to my one thing I was talk about was that maybe not this week, but hopefully when we play the Commanders, that game gets flexed to Sunday night. Okay, we might get maybe Adoree Jackson back. Okay, and maybe Xavier McKinney, possibly. Right, Eagles fans are heavy in the South. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm in South Jersey. I'm like 20 minutes from Philadelphia, 25 minutes from Philadelphia. So I'm in South Jersey right now. Yeah, I can't stand Eagle fans. Absolutely can't stand them. Hate them. Oh, yeah. Yeah. When I was a kid, I used to hate the Cowboys the most. But now, being here in South Jersey, I hate the Eagles. Absolutely hate them. Yeah. It is Sunday night. We will have both those guys back. Yeah, hopefully we will. Now, the other thing is that now we had the Fab Four out there for just a little while. We had Kayvon, right? We had Sexy Dexter, we had Leo the Lion, and we had Azeez out there. I don't know what it was, a half, maybe a little more than a half, I guess it was. And then Leo the Lion with his neck. Seen him on the sideline. He was laying down, and they were working on his neck and all and everything, and he never came back in. So, if you're talking about an ankle or an elbow or whatever, something, you want him to get better and this, that, and everything. But you start talking about a neck, you start talking about the spine or something like that. You start talking about possibly getting, that's where you can get paralyzed. So I hope everything works out okay for him. But so we'll have to keep an eye on him because we could certainly use Leo the Lion out there without question because the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line is fantastic and they have nobody injured. And they're really, really good. So we can use him out there, but we just got to wait and see. I don't know how bad the neck is or not. But I said, if we don't wind up winning here, we'll be 7-5-1. We're going to go on the road. Play Washington. They flexed it to Sunday night. So we're going to be 7-5-1 Giants playing against the 7-5-1 Washington Commanders. That will be our Super Bowl. Let's see what we got. He had a crink in his neck. I hope. I seen him working on it and he never came back in the game. So, I hope everything's okay. Because I said we can use all the help we can certainly get. That's for sure. But I said, but if we don't win this game, we'll be tied. But we have to beat the Commanders then. Because if we wind up tied with, say at the end, if we wind up losing to them, and somehow we wind up tied with them record wise, if we lose in 2 weeks to them, they'll have the head-to-head on us. So we're going to have a better record than them if we lose in 2 weeks to them. If we want to get into the playoffs, if we wind up tied with them, so that's going to be a huge game. So, if we lose this week, we lose. As I said, I certainly don't want us to lose, but, in 2 weeks, we either have to beat the Eagles or we got to beat the Commanders. We got to win one of these next two games. That would be really, really huge. As I said, especially because, against the Commanders, if they beat us, they got the head-to-head on us. Right. This will be a big test for Kafka. Oh yeah. oh yeah. It's gonna be a huge test. It's just something, sometimes there's the saying they got, okay, in college. Okay. And it's pretty true. Okay. They say my Jimmies and Joes will beat your X's and O's. Like a lot of times, when Alabama goes against another team who's got somebody who can draw up really good plays and stuff like that and all and everything, a lot of times what it winds up working out to is they say my Jimmies and Joes will beat your X's and O's, meaning my ball players, because they're good and talented and all that stuff and everything, they're going to beat anything you're going to draw up, right? And unfortunately, the Eagles are so healthy. Right, they got a lot of good guys. They're so healthy and all, and it's going going to be tough, very, very tough. Kafka needs to call plays in the field. Well, I mean, I wonder if they actually decided that they actually talked about something like that. I mean, because, it doesn't seem like when Daboll was talking at his press conference, somebody asked him about thinking about maybe taking the play calling away from Mike. He said, no, I trust him. I trust the guys and all that and everything. So as of right now, it seems like, Kafka is going to call the plays. But I wonder if they maybe would, maybe thinking about something like that, changing stuff up. Because if stuff ain't working and you just keep doing the same stuff over and over, that's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, right? He needs to be on the field. I wonder if they just did discuss something like that. I know when you're up high, obviously you can get a better view of it all and everything, but you don't get a good feel for the game. I think if you're on the field, you hear the guys talking and this, that, you get a better feel for it, on the field. So I wonder if that's something they wind up talking about, because we got to play the Vikings. You got a good defense, right? But you got to play the Eagles 2 times. You got to play the Commanders 1 more time. We're going up against some really good defenses, really, really, really good defenses, And as I said, the lack of fire, who do we got? There we go. With Darius Slayton, Isaiah Hodgins, Richie James, Kenny Golladay. I don't even know if they even going to put him on the field anymore. Marcus Johnson, David Sills. Our tight ends, Lawrence Cager, Chris Myrick, Nick Vannett, who we just picked up last week. We let Tanner Hudson go, and we picked up Nick Vannett, right? And then we got Daniel Bellinger, right? It's like, is there anybody there that scares you? Nope. Nope. What we got? He needs to be able to communicate with the players and other coaches. Yeah, I said, I was wondering if that's something they actually started thinking about. Change stuff up. Right? What are we going to do? Lose? That's what we've been doing now. Right? That second half, that offense we had, that second half was unbelievable, horrible. It was like 1, 2, 3 punt, 1, 2, 3 punt, 1, 2, 3. The longest drive, I think, was like 36 yards in the second half and in overtime. So the third quarter, fourth quarter, and overtime. The last, 40 minutes of the football game, our longest drive was 36 yards. Our longest we had was 7 plays. 40 minutes of the football game. Our longest drive was 7 plays. And our longest drive, it was 2 minutes and 39 seconds was the most time that we had the ball for in the third quarter, fourth quarter, and overtime. 2 minutes and 39 seconds. Commanders got a good defense. It's not that good. He needs to have a feel of what a DJ is going through and up against. Yeah, get the feel. Yeah, because when DJ comes off the field, it's nice to maybe sit down next to him and talk to him, instead of having him on the phone. What do you got? Sit down next to him. Get it's not the computer, whatever you call it, the laptop or whatever they got. And look over and talk about it and stuff like, sit down there next to him and all that, But as I said, I wonder if that's something that they'll consider doing somewhere along the line. Because Wink is on the field calling defenses, right? Guys come off the field. He's talking to them, communicating with them, right? Get that communication going. Yeah, that's huge. I said Wink is doing a very good job. These are the guys. These are the guys that we're right. We're trying to our top 3, and we got, because McKinney's out. We got Jason Pinnock, Fabian Moreau, right? Who else do we have? McLeod. Right? Nick McLeod. Okay. Let's see. Was that it? Wow. Or Darius Williams. He didn't play at all. But you know what I mean? I mean, who else was on practice squad? Oh, Zion. Well, I mean, last week, right? Who we had? We had Zion Gilbert. Okay, we had Fabian Moreau, Jason Pinnock, and Nick McLeod. That was like our secondary. We had Julian Love out there too, but for a lot of the game, we had Nick McLeod, Pinnock, Moreau, and Zion Gilbert. Those were 4 of our 5 guys, and somehow we only gave up 20 points. So I mean, so he's doing a really, really good job, really, really good job. My question. What we got? We have a bunch. Well, we got. I mean, it's like it's amazing, like what they're doing. I mean, like even Fabian Moreau. I mean, he's done a decent job. I mean, the Zion Gilbert. I mean, yeah. You think they cut Gilbert? Oh, today. Oh, okay. Well, I'm looking at their depth chart. Now, this depth chart's not always like up to the minute and all and everything, but they still got Zion Gilbert on the practice squad here. But I mean, he certainly could have been cut. That's for sure. But I mean, it's like the guys. The guys they got. I mean, it's what they're getting out of the guys that they got is it's pretty remarkable. I mean, imagine if Flott's been injured. I mean, Rodarius Williams, has come back. Okay, but he was injured in the beginning. He comes back, then we lose Aaron Robinson, Adoree Jackson. He's going to be missing 3-4 games. So I got top 2 cornerbacks, right? And it's like that. It's not forget, right? The guys that we lost in the offseason, right? I mean, Jabrill Peppers, he's gone. Logan Ryan, he's gone. Bradbury, we couldn't sign him. I mean, look at all the guys we lost, right? And then the starters. I mean, it said McKinney broke his hand, right? Adoree Jackson injured his knee. Aaron Robinson, he's out for the season. I mean, and we keep plugging guys in there, and we keep doing a decent job. I mean, right? We had a real core of players. We really could. Oh, yeah. But I mean, it's just they just keep getting hurt. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, we finally get Azeez back, and then Leonard Williams, his neck is hurt. I mean, we've had what? I think Kayvon and Azeez have been on the field for 3 games this year. Right? We played. What did we play? We played 12 games, 7-4-1, 12 games. So on 12 out of 12, Kayvon and Azeez have been on the field. And I think they said, between Kayvon, Azeez, Leonard Williams, and Dexter Lawrence, I think last week was like the first game that they all been on the field at the same time in the 12th game. Yeah, new field. Boy, I hope they get grass. I mean, it's just whatever field they got now, it's got to go. I mean, hopefully whatever they put in there is better, but I'd love to see them with some grass on there. I think grass is the safest. Unfortunately, it'd be the most expensive because they have to keep like resodding the field and all that. It's just going to get expensive. I mean, it'd be nice to lay the turf down, set it and forget it. You don't have to worry about it. But I mean, with grass, I mean, it's going to get expensive. But I mean, how expensive is it to keep losing your ball players? So I said we'll have to hopefully have grass next year. But whatever it is, it won't be this garbage that's on the field. They're getting a new type of pellet field that is in most stadiums. Okay. I mean, as long as they get rid of whatever this garbage is, I mean, nothing's going to derail a season faster than injuries, and that's all the Giants been getting. It's I mean, there's like no cohesion on the offensive line because the guys keep getting hurt there. I mean, all of our wide receivers, right? We lost Daniel Bellinger for 4 or 5 games. I mean, the only thing we haven't really lost, Dexter Lawrence, right? Julian Love's been there. Saquon, Daniel Jones, but I mean, lost a lot of guys in the offensive line, all the wide receivers, Daniel Bellinger, I mean, Kayvon's missed time. Azeez Ojulari's missed time. Leonard Williams missed a few games in there too. Adoree Jackson, Aaron Robinson, Darius Williams, Cordell Flott, Xavier McKinney. I mean, I think like four of our draft classes we lost. They're gone for the whole season, right? McKeithen, right? I mean, Darian Beavers. I mean, too many injuries. I mean, it's just, what are you going to, it's horrible. I mean, it's a shame. You go through all of this stuff, all the excitement and the draft and, free agency, and you go through training camp and this, that, and the other thing, all excitement. And it's like, guys just start getting injured left and right. It's like, oh, it's a lost season. Okay. Well, maybe next year, and then the same thing happens. It's like, when's it going to stop? It's unbelievable. Well, my dear, it's been 50 minutes. I'm shooting my mouth off. Thank you, Dad. I've never had, Ronnie, I've never had this many comments in the comment section before. So thank you so much. It's great seeing them there. It's great talking to somebody, being able to converse back and forth with somebody, because I just shoot my mouth off, and it's nice to see somebody talking back the way I can relate to somebody. It's really it's refreshing. Okay. Well, my dear, thank you so much. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Right? Thank you for spending some time with me. I greatly appreciate it. Or if anybody spends any time at all watching the replay of this, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I was away, but I am back now. Good. All right. Good. The Giants can use all the help we can get, right? All right, Ronnie. Well, I'll be seeing you, and I'll be talking to you soon. And as always, everybody out there, you guys stay safe out there, and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.